Another game week gone in the 25-26 season with new information making their own establishment. Some assets now being wanted more than ever, but for other teams, they're hitting the direction of records being unwanted by many. Welcome to the FPL Addicts Gameweek 5 edition. I tell you what, for some people, we are certainly wanted week on week to dissect and tackle the big dilemmas heading to yet another game week. Good evening to you all. Good morning, whoever may be tuning in from across the globe as well. So much to unpack from the first week after the international break, having there was a monster quadruple Saturday, 2 games on the Sunday, the double header. We saw a Manchester derby. We saw a Norwegian fit and firing, and not just that, he is firing across multiple statistical departments. And hopefully we got our spreadsheet king coming on your way. So for tonight, unfortunately, we've had a couple of minute last pullouts and someone else who's about to join very shortly too. But nonetheless, we're back. Time to go through all of the games, how our mini leagues are gone, as well, going through what our teams look like heading into the weekend as well. So much. Well, let's get straight in. So, firstly, good evening to whoever may be chiming in for a comment. Contributions always much appreciated. So, how do we all fare? Now, for some, depending on what type of assets you may have had, it was a bit up and down. Let's put it that way. We did have a leader in Marcello, who's a big enthusiast when it comes to DEFCON. But now, within a blink of an eye and blink one eto, the one, and that's where he's ranked in the Addicts Pod Mini League at the moment. And this is how we look as it being us for Marcello. Got a nice 56 pointer, which when he does come on course, he'd be more than happy to show his team in detail. I've got 70 points, which is the third best. It was quite a high-scoring game week. I believe it's the highest average for the season with 60 for some, hitting the wild card and 3 hits. I think it was 900,000 managers, which is the 4th most of all time. Mikey, however, got 72, but he's got to have to fight another day instead of die. And Reidy with 83. And unfortunately, Reidy is unable to make it to tonight's pod. But nonetheless, let's have a look through his side. So, what a fantastic game week for him. We had Anderson, who got some lovely DEFCON. Munoz clean sheet. Virgil van Dijk with a clean sheet. Double Palace working wonders. Semenyo, he also had. Salah captain. Haaland up front. Now, there's not many people who have this guy. And what makes it really different this season is in comparison to 3 seasons ago, everyone had him. And the average each week would just naturally be higher. But now we have a decision to make because I think he's the second most expensive player, 14 million, not the best of campaigns last season. Yet he still, I think, scored 20 goals, which is a fantastic achievement in itself. But no one could go past Mo Salah. And Salah is somewhat still delivering, but he's leaving it later than usual. And the stats show a corresponding trend that this shall not continue, and he may be the way to be sacrificed to get an all-important figure in. So we got that. How did I go? 70 points. It's not too bad, but, it's times like these where I pray for a green arrow, and we just got to buy 6 points according to the safety score. Mickey van der Ven proving a huge difference, especially with that header, watching the West Ham game. See, I thought West Ham scored for a moment, and then Spurs may have scored early on, got ruled offside. But what a set piece. He was pretty much the difference maker. Antoine Semenyo, vice captaincy, 13 points at home to Brighton. This is what we paid for him for, and he's the only player to have had 5 price rises so far this campaign. João Pedro got an assist. And he was playing international friendlies that were 1,400 metres above altitude. Still came back on time. Still started the front line. What is there out there this man can't do, because he is phenomenal. What a great start to the season for this new steaming blue once former Seagull. Munoz with his 5 points. Rodon got some DEFCON, and I was very close to getting haunted by bench points yet again. But it was a 94th minute own goal from Goodmanson, which gave Fulham the 1-0 win. Aitnori was injured, but a sideways switch could have been better in hindsight, with City having kept a 3-0 victory once again over their noisy neighbours in Manchester, and Ramsey's gone out on loan. So the question is, do I do something about this team, or is it going to be 2 flags once again? Miriam, good evening to you. Thanks for stopping by, being in comfort. I always appreciate your support, and thank you very much. Well, we've got to find a way to keep this flowing. There's so much to try and unpack here too, and to change a multitude of screens. But how did you all do? Did anyone have Haaland out there and captain him? Because those managers were the big beneficiaries, as they're filling with optimism towards game week 5. A tough fixture for Manchester City. They go away to Arsenal, but as part of the Sky Sports very own Super Sunday, with a couple of other games at 2 o'clock. But are some people going to go early because they've seen enough confidence in the Norwegian? Or are they more sound to Arsenal's resolute defence so far? They're one of 3 sides having conceded just 1 goal in their opening 4 games, alongside other London-based sides in their neighbours Tottenham Hotspur, and further down south in Crystal Palace. And as we're on our way to the mini league, a bit of curiosity too in terms of how they fared. We do our best to show the public league each week, and if you guys do want to join, this is our mini league code right on the bottom here, QUMI4T. You scored above 40 points, probably a half decent week for you. Well, maybe not, but I'll keep that up there for the meantime, because we haven't actually shown it so far this year. And to carry on running the theme, let's see how our public league looks, with Matt Tonge, I think it is, Tonge Fastix with 77 points. It leads with 274. Budgie Talk Sports in second with 273. A few people on the movement of a green arrow, and some in between getting sandwiched with a bit of red-handed arrows going down on that list. So that's public league. Now we're going to go to all the different European leagues. So pretty interesting during the week, to say the least. Just checking if Marcello knows where we're going. No, he hasn't actually even responded. So around the grounds. So we had a last-minute winner yet again from Liverpool. This time against Atletico Madrid at home. It ended being 3-2. Van Dijk once again from the set piece with a cheeky header. So he got the job done there. Chelsea lost 3-1 away at Bayern Munich. A former Premier League superstar. He still is a superstar in another league. Wants a spur now at Bayern. It being Harry Kane scoring 2 in that game. Arsenal won 2-0 away at Atletico Bilbao, which is a fantastic and encouraging start. Spurs won 1-0 at home to Villarreal. Brentford and Crystal Palace, both London-based sides, straight through to the next round of the EFL Cup. Manchester City and Newcastle both played tonight, with Newcastle playing host to Barcelona. And Manchester City, well, they host Napoli. And there is one former decorative City asset who was all part of our FPL teams for many years, on and off in the back end, but now he's on the opposing equator for tonight's Champions League. And that is Kevin De Bruyne, facing his former side, but also back to his Etihad stomping ground earlier than anticipated. But I think we've got to settle on someone who was a big talking point heading into the international break. Was at Hotspur, gave him glory that the supporters have been hunting down for the last 17 seasons. And then the swift 14-hour turnaround in the Midlands, it being at Nottingham, with Ange Postecoglou 2-0 up away at Swansea City, and finding a way to lose 3-2 with 2 goals past the 90th minute. Now, I am curious to know, whoever does decide to comment, what does this do for Ange? Because he is off to such a tumultuous start already. I do want him to do well, even being as an Australian, but Doesn't look great. What is our identity? Nottingham Forest. I think that's another good shout in itself too. Where to from here? So I think Forest go away to Burnley this weekend, which is a huge game. And we have seen there's been an upturn in clean sheets this year, with a lot of the promoted sides performing substantially well in their home matches and containing new opponents in delightful style. Leeds, we've seen it quite evidently. Sunderland, the expected goals conceded and expected chances created in terms of conceding, they only ranked 9th, which is quite encouraging for Lebriz's team, I should point out there. So, one to look for. That's a certain. But I think, considering we've already mentioned a couple of the fixtures, let's go to what we've got lined up this weekend. And it is big in itself. We start with the Merseyside derby, which is usually the pinnacle on every footballing calendar. This is how we look. Quadruple header Saturday, ending with Fulham Brentford. Big West London derby, that is, at Craven Cottage. Man United Chelsea. 4 games at 3 o'clock and 2 on Sunday. But if I had to pick one game, which I believe is big, I'm going to go Sunderland Aston Villa, because this is a great opportunity for Sunderland to get more points on the board, prove some of their doubters wrong against an Aston Villa team who just cannot score. Harvey Elliott, I think, made his starting debut for Villa on loan, got the goal in their League Cup encounter away at Brentford during the week. They're lacking goals. They're lacking firepower. They don't seem to be creating the same chances and as frequently in comparison to last season. Huge game. So I reckon Sunderland Aston Villa is going to be a telling one. And a lot of people will still be stubborn in terms of getting rid of Villa assets. And we've been saying one more week for the last month. But this is a game where we look at it and we see if there's an opportunity to roll the transfer, we will. And these are the reasons why. Because it is still somewhat favourable for Aston Villa. But if you're an owner of Rodgers and Watkins, including myself, it's tipping point. That's all we can really say on that front. So that's a fixtures having sorted out on that front, guys. Any questions? I'm always looking forward to the dilemmas each week. And what's our status? Is this a rolling week in terms of transfers? Because I think we saw last week a bit more movement. Gameweek 3 was big in terms of trying to go out there and make a transfer as a result of Palmer having been out. But to be honest, those who made moves, including myself, you're better off maybe to even not make moves at all, because we saw Gameweek 3, especially with my side, it was better off not doing anything. But maybe in the long run, we saw it last weekend, it was better to get rid of Palmer. However, he came off the bench to score against Brentford. Came on at half-time, scored, I think it was 15, 20 minutes later, to show the type of asset he is. He was top scorer 2 seasons ago, and he gave us a timely reminder, alongside the Egyptian, who we all have, and we've seen what he's done season after season, and Salah Haaland, which it's a big sacrifice from a financial standpoint and squad structure, team balance, having both Salah and Haaland in. And I think this is... Where do we go? So Salah's regressed, but he's found a way to leave it late. Some managers have had captaincy returns in every game week has come at stoppage time. Fortunate or tactical geniuses? As a result of Verts and Ekitike both having signed, you can see Slot is trying to find a way to not be so over-reliant on the Egyptian. But it is evident that Salah hasn't done as much. Is he like showing a bit more freedom? We shall see. But we know supporters such as Crystal Palace fans, they've got a bit of freedom themselves. Also having to balance Europa League or Conference League. I don't know who got kicked out, but I got someone who's got a bit more detail into it. And I'm so glad he's come in this fine studio of his. Got the light brimming from behind within the background. And I'm so glad. I know there may have been a couple of dropouts, but this guy, he certainly wasn't. The saving grace, all to bring it for his spreadsheet race. It being Marcello. Good evening to you and welcome back to yet another edition. So we can
Hello. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you traveling?
Very nice. Yeah,
That's good.
it's going good.
Have you been tuning into the first 15 minutes of my spiel?
No, I've been driving on the way back from Sainsbury's, but we're here now. Ready to roll.
I'll go back to where it all started with a brief look on our teams. Marcello, before I'm on my way to go to your side, how did you find game week 4? Because you forecasted quite a while back that it would be a high-scoring game week. Is that how it played out in your mind?
I always said, it's a great week for a free hit. And it'll be a high-scoring week, and that's kind of how it was, except for I didn't use my free hit, so it wasn't that high-scoring for me. But no, I think a lot of people had a good game week this week. Mine was a bit average, yeah.
Yeah. Did you believe that you fared better off without using the free hit, or did you see it as an opportunity missed?
Well, I always thought it would be a good idea to kind of get Salah in, but I already had Salah at the start of the season. So in the end, I was kind of like, I probably won't use my free hit. But yeah, in the end, I didn't use it, and yeah, I kind of regret it. I think I made a free hit draft on my Twitter, and it scored like 20 or so points more. So maybe opportunity missed, but we'll see what happens. Palace keep winning. We might cause a double or a blank somewhere down the line. So as long as Palace keep winning, maybe I'll find another use of my free hit. So yeah, that's my team there.
Yeah, take it away, especially with your 5 at the back. Was it so alive at the back?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy. Like overall, I think it's 3.8 average across all those 5, which is about what you expect for the defenders. So on average, my defenders did all right. 2 clean sheets. Murillo getting DEFCON after like 10 minutes and then getting subbed off with an injury. Collins getting his DEFCON. Cucurella, obviously, I thought he would have started, but it didn't make much difference in the end. Salah, captain, in the end, another last-minute return. That's 2 weeks in a row that I've had last-minute penalty goals by my captain. Last week it was Bruno against Burnley, and this week against Salah, and those are really saving me. So that's good. And then João Pedro and Palmer. I was thinking about selling them, if you remember, last week, but in the end I kept them, and they both got the returns, so happy with them. And now suddenly against Man United next week, they seem like really good assets to hold. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't get rid of them.
Yeah, good shout. And yeah, just to mention too, the fixture of Man United away, it does look a good handful already for your side. So thank you as always for showing your side, and better luck next time, because it's been one of those where our mini league, it's changed leader after every week. So I know you're at the top, now you're going to the bottom, but who knows? By the end of this weekend, you could be back up the top. So I reckon the optimism is still contained, in fairness. I know what you've got behind the screens. I know your spreadsheet stocks are through the roof, because you are but the Marcello Krellin style. That's what you are, and we'd love to see it. But before all of that, because we want to make sure that's part of the core of the agenda, I want to go back to the fixtures, Marcello. So I was just touching base on this before you jumped on. Now, is there a fixture this weekend which you believe is that stands out to you, from whether it's an FPL perspective or just football in general? So my pick was Sunderland Aston Villa. as a result of Villa going for the unwanted record, we've got some people holding their assets, and it's a great opportunity for Sunderland because I think a bit more harder to break down than we may have anticipated. But what's your pick?
Yeah, Sunderland v Aston Villa is good. I mean, I'm holding Watkins still, and I still haven't got rid of him since game week 1. And kind of the same thing about Forest, but I've got triple Forest. So they lost last night in the League Cup, which was crazy in the last minute. and yeah, just that. See if they can beat Burnley for similar reasons as Villa. Surely those two teams are going to come good this time, right? But they both started well, Sunderland and Burnley, especially at home. So it's not going to be easy. But come on, guys, I need you. Otherwise, they're all getting hooked. I'll transfer all 4 Villa and Forest players out of my team.
Yeah, it's like they've both been quite irrelevant for a good while. But those are the sorts of fixtures which we're just holding on to thin ice at the moment, just for those particular assets, and which is why we're doing our best to hold transfers where we can. And I've heard that you're rolling up to 5. Is that correct?
I think so. I think
Okay, yeah.
I've got really good fixtures this week. I think these are the highest expected points I've had all season. And my players, they all, a lot of them have an easy blue fixtures on paper. And even the ones that are not blue are kind of like Man United, the Chelsea boys. So you kind of favor them. So I think I'm gonna roll again one more time, and then give all of them one more chance, and then we'll see what happens next week when I'll have to make a transfer.
Then the tumble drive for the season gets going in terms of shifting and manoeuvring some players within your teams. Now, next part, transfer trends. Bit of an intriguing one this week. Do you have any players, as per usual, which catch you by surprise within the top 5 of each category?
Yeah, actually, I think there's been a lot of transfers recently where it's been a lot of point chasing. But I feel like people are making sensible choices now looking at this. So Semenyo, he's just been on fire. I like him. Fixture run isn't the best, but they've still got Leeds to come. Yeah, Newcastle wasn't great and Fulham, so that Leeds fixture is quite nice. But he also doesn't play in Europe, so I think that's gonna help him this season. And then from 12-13, the fixtures go great as well. Obviously, his price has already risen. Personally, I'm not jumping on him just yet, but I do feel like I've missed out on him a few weeks ago, maybe when Palmer got injured.
Intriguing.
Have you got Semenyo yet?
Yeah, I got him before the Spurs game, so he was the replacement for Palmer. So I didn't mind 13 points last week.
That's what I should have done. Yeah.
In terms of surprises for me, now I can understand the Liverpool frustration because there's a bit of uncertainty now. Isak's arrival, but they're home to Everton this weekend, which looks to be favourable. But 2 of them feature in the top 5 transfers out. I think I'm more intrigued by Ekitike because he had a really good start to the year. I think he's on back-to-back blanks now, and Everton just looks a good fixture on paper. And I don't think Isak has necessarily settled in as of yet. So.
Yeah, people are probably using it to get Haaland, who's just been incredible. Like, he has started the season well again this week, and Burnley coming up next. People want to catch those price rises. Ekitike, minutes could go down with Isak, so I can understand people moving off Ekitike, going to Haaland. He started well. He's got good fixtures, playing good for his country. See how he does tonight as well in the Champions League. Have they already started?
Yeah, 25 minutes in. We're just talking about
Napoli. Oh, that's a tough game.
Yeah, Newcastle are home to Barcelona as well.
That's still 0-0 at the minute. Very nice.
Yeah, right. Okay, so that is the transfer movements. Now, Marcello, I know it might come a bit earlier than expected, but as a result of the crisis we had, we got half a panel being last-minute dropouts tonight. More importantly, I hope Chris Reid is really enjoying his horse riding competition as an alternative. Your segment has come a little bit earlier than usual. You know, some people tune in for this very reason. Like, they love the colours on screen. Addicts
Yeah,
Spreadsheets. And now it's time to unveil. I've heard you've helped out 15 people, which could be 15 people more than what Ben Crellin's done during the week. Who knows? But it's your time on the dance floor. Take it away with your XGs.
Well, this is my chart. So if I can zoom in a bit, you guys can maybe see a bit better. We fill in my team, and then my spreadsheet tells me the best suggested 11, who to bench, what formation, who to captain. You get a nice clear view. You want as many greens here as possible. You want dark pink scores, and 71 predicted points. The week after, I've got 65, 54, 62, 63. So this is really the week I've been waiting for. This is my game week 1 team. I've used a game week 1 to 5 like structure to start off with, and now this is kind of like why I've got all these players in for. So Forest, Burnley, Palace, West Ham, Liverpool, Everton, Villa, Sunderland. They're the fixtures we're targeting this week. So I can't sell them even though they've got bad form. Hopefully the good fixtures make good form. So I'm probably going to go 4-4-2 this week, just like this tells me. You don't have to listen to this spreadsheet. It doesn't get everything right, but I think this week, happy to roll, happy to keep going. And yeah, I was thinking about a free hit in 6, or maybe to get Haaland in, but even 65 is not bad. If you're getting 65 points every week, you're going to be in the top 30, top 100k, I think. So aim for 65 points in a week. That's a good segment. But then here, look at my game week 7. Red, 54 points. Very poor. Game week 8, 62. It drops down, but a few more reds and grays. 63.9. So game week 7, definitely, I'm going to need to take some action because I don't want to be playing in these fixtures. And then one more other spreadsheet I've got here. This is quite a nice one. So it kind of tells you how each player in my team is performing. So here we've got in order of their sell rating. And what makes up this sell rating, I hear you ask? So you've got the player, and then you've got the difference between their points this year and last year. So let's look at Murillo. Last year, Murillo got 4.7 points per game across the whole season. This year, he's only got 1.8 points because Forest keep conceding in every game, and he's struggling to get DEFCON for some reason. So minus 2.9, he's really underperforming. But he's got good fixtures. The next few fixtures are quite nice. Overall, there's a fixture rating of 14. So he gets a score of 15.2 overall, taking into account his underperformance, his scores, and his fixtures. So these are the people that I kind of want to think about selling at the top. And these are the people that you kind of want to keep because they're performing so well. Good form, decent fixtures, and loads of overperformance as well. They'll be confident. So, maybe next week I'll run your team in here and I can try and see how your team looks. But overall, these guys, Forest, Villa, these guys are on the chopping block if they don't perform this week, I think. Certainly in game week 7.
Well, I will say, mate, I'll look forward to our game of chess. I'll put in my details for you through the course of the week and run through its blender and see if your moves are the exact same what I'm thinking. To those who are just tuned in, and we do apologise for having an 8 o'clock start. It's by mutual consent across all parties. Very last minute, so I apologise for all the inconvenience caused, but for those who tune in on time, well, you come to the right place, right time at this time of the week. And it's kicking off with spreadsheets too. As always, Marcello, thank you. And every week, we expect you, produce something. Give us a bit of goodness off the sheets. So that's what we're here for. Now, I think spreadsheets are done. Actually, I do want to ask you before we probably go straight to our Game Week 4 teams. I know you mentioned that Forest lost, so that's a big takeaway in itself. What about any of the other results through the course of Europe? Because this is the first of many weeks where it's best up, wait for our transfers having made, because you don't know what happens during the week. Any big takeaways from the sides having played?
Well, I think the stars were Palmer, Haaland, and Salah. They all did quite a lot there. Palmer got his goal, and then I think he should have another, but he was slightly offside or there was a foul or something. So Palmer's looking fresh back after his carney. He's all refreshed after going Notting Hill. And that's the break that he needed. You know, he didn't get a rest with the Club World Cup, but Palmer's looking good. So what do you think about Palmer?
I think, yeah, he looks really good coming off the bench. And I think so a lot of us still have Salah, and we all want to get Palmer. If we had those three will make our teams quite imbalanced. So I just feel that there's more sorting between those two assets in comparison to Palmer at the moment. But if he scores 5 like he did at home to Brighton, he's facing them next week.
Right,
then
exactly.
matches are going to change very quickly. So it's one to keep an eye on, a situation to monitor. Was there anything else?
Wild carding now. Who would you pick out of Salah, Palmer, and Haaland if you could?
I got Haaland. I think that's undoubted. Probably find a way to squeeze in Palmer if you know 100% you're going to go away from Salah, but I just don't think it's best to have all three. So what about you?
Yeah, I think one thing you might see on my Twitter is Liverpool in game week 7 after this Everton game, I think, or game week 6, or I think it's 7. They start their hardest 5-week fixture run in the whole season. So if you're holding Palmer through game week 7 to 11, I think it is, then you're going to want to hold him all season because they're never going to be as hard as this. So if you are going to sell Salah, if you're going to go on to Haaland, you know, that game week 6 Burnley fixture is the time to be brave, get rid of him. You know, Isaac's going to come in. You never know how it affects things, although he looked brilliant last night, so it really makes it hard to sell him. Well, he looked good for the first few minutes at least.
He did indeed. Anyone that needs a deadline reminder, your game week 5 deadline is Saturday. It's coming Saturday, 11 o'clock BST. And for anyone that's tuning into Australia, that's 8 o'clock in the evening. Don't get hammered too early. All right, now it's time to go through our sides for game week 5. Geez, the season's going quick now all of a sudden, isn't it? Now, before we get to yours, Marcello, because you'll be next, I've got Rebs that he sent through on the cheeky WhatsApp group. Now he's looking to roll and go to 2 free transfers and squeeze in Haaland. Now, we all laughed at him on Sunday because he vice-captain Salah, but he had captain Isaac, who didn't even make a squad. He's going down that direction again. Insanity, doing the same thing over and over again. And yes, he's an Everton fan. So, don't know where the alliances are there, but this is his squad. Any brief take, what do you reckon?
He's benching 2 Evertons as well. Not loyal at all. It's win-win, really, isn't it? That's what you can do with FPL. If your team does bad, your FPL team will do good. And if your FPL team does bad, at least Everton have done well.
Yeah. That's not a bad team.
I do like the look of Ndiaye recently. I think Liverpool have been quite leaky in defence. You know, they've looked incredible in attack, but they're letting every team score twice before nicking it from them at the last minute. It's happened again and again ever since the Community Shield. Well, apart from Palace won that one. But yeah, I think Ndiaye has looked like some player. I had my doubts about him at first, but when you watch him play, you're like, this guy's a serious baller. And he's on pens, so, you know, not that they get too many pens, but I like the look of Ndiaye. I kind of wish he was in my team. Reinders, I'm not getting the hype. Obviously, he scored on his debut, 5.5. I'd rather go for someone like Caicedo, who's been, you know, obviously he's scored, but you don't get him for the goals. They're just a bonus. But with his DEFCON, he's getting DEFCON like every game. Don't think he got some in Europe last night, but in the Premier League, Caicedo's looking great.
Yes. Yeah.
I really like his team again. Chris Wood, hopefully he does well, and Isaac. That was his plan, so Yeah, fair play.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
it.
bring in an Everton mid over Rangers, or even the defender. I can't remember who he's got there, but I'll probably bench Rangers, especially against Arsenal, who have looked fantastic in defence in Europe as well. What, they won 2-0 away in Europe last night, the night before. Arsenal really impressed me this year.
Well, yeah, they've probably got one of the best squads in Europe in terms of squad depth, I believe. At the moment, it's just managed to prove it on the scoreboard, and Arteta getting the wins when they count the most. Right, Rev, thank you for sending it through last minute. Now, Marcello, we've gone from, I was going to give Rev a good intro, but he decided not to turn up. I was going to call him the Rev Naissance, but there's no naissance about it whatsoever. So we've got to go to the man big at the back, the DEFCON enthusiast. You are up next if you're raring to go.
Yes. So
it looks like you are through the lenses.
Yeah. Am I sharing? Oh, wrong one. Let's share this tab instead.
There we go. So, Sean Dyche fashion.
There we go. Unfortunately, Keane gets benched this week, although I'm tempted to play him, but I don't know who I'd bench. Anderson against Burnley is not getting benched. So, Keane, you're going to stay on the bench this week. Sorry, no 5 at the back. But, yeah, I'm happy with my team. It's my game week 1 team. Like I said, Captain Salah. Is there a case to Captain Palmer this week? Do you want to tempt me there?
Well, Man United have conceded 5 goals in their last 2 games across all competitions, and they conceded 2 against Burnley. So I reckon there's merit if you're unsure on Salah and Haaland's tough fixture.
It seems that Amarim is just begging to get sacked.
That's what I think too.
I get. Yeah. It's weird, but still got Bruno. They've got a good game week 9 fixture. Maybe I'll think about getting rid of him. Captain Watkins. I mean, he's in my team, so I obviously trusted him. Why don't I captain him against Sunderland?
Oh, I think Sunderland are really good defensively overall in their first 4 matches, and at home too. Yeah. I don't see them giving Villa much of an inch in this match. I'm even worried. I still having double Villa, to be fair. So,
I think I heard someone say Sunderland are looking at Villa like, a wounded animal, and they're just gonna go in for a kill because what is going on at Villa? What, seriously? They haven't scored a goal. The only team in all 7 divisions that hasn't scored a goal is Aston Villa.
It's crazy, isn't it? It really is. Like, even everyone's finding a way to score a goal by now, and just it can't. Yeah, it is staggering. So 4-4-2, I like it. Any other comments to round off?
Yeah, looking forward to having 5 free transfers next week and changing everything.
Well, I am expecting from you, Marcello, as a result of you saying that, 5 live transfers, because that's what got me attraction last season. Well, it depends how much steel is within you, but I look forward to the anticipation in terms of what you pull out. And don't forget, everyone, please follow Marcello on X, because he will reveal all 5 moves after the Saturday deadline. He will.
And like and subscribe on this channel too, guys. Get those.
Please, yeah, that would be great.
Hello to Miriam in the chat. Miriam's still here. Let's go.
Let's go, indeed. And, the shorts have been all right. I think it's 11 of the last 13 videos having gone over 1,000. Not quite this week, but if someone can view the short I put up about 550 times on loop, then that should get us to 1K. So that would be magnificent. Speaking of someone who's a bit magnificent at the moment, top of the league, that is a Blink-182, Chris Reidy, and his own horse riding endeavours. But what sort of endeavours does he have for Game Week 5? Well, he's thinking, and this is part of a tweet, Alanga to Semenyo and roll, or roll and just roll both transfers. He looks good at the moment, this guy. He's got Haaland. I think that's the big pick, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, he's got Arsenal this week. So who does he captain? Haaland again? Maybe he goes João Pedro captain. Even Gakpo. Gakpo's looking nice, isn't he? With that Champions League squad. Isaac went straight in and Etikike benched, and Gakpo keeps his place.
Yeah.
Do you think Gakpo could see some rotation as well, or is that just the end for Etikike if
I think he
Isaac
could see
starts playing?
returns more from rotation, Gakpo. It's a type of game that he could properly thrive in.
Definitely.
It's a deep bench. Does Saliba go on field? That's what I'm thinking.
Against
Maybe
Man
not.
City.
Double Spurs away at Brighton.
He's got a good team, doesn't he?
Does Hasbro Reinders first on the bench? I mean,
I wouldn't put Reinders first. Maybe
Morgan Rogers on field.
Yeah.
Some wild stuff.
That's interesting. He wants to keep Rogers over Elanga, but how are Newcastle's fixtures? Newcastle's fixtures are quite tough, so I don't mind that Bournemouth swap actually, especially with Leeds next week. But maybe do it next week.
Yeah. So that is his team. Jeez, he's always got something, this guy, and I look forward in terms of if he reveals his team on X, or we're going to give him couple of kisses, which is why people say X in itself. No, I'm only kidding. But Jake and I, like when Matthias Cash, I pronounce his name on the Premier League videos. No, I'm joking. Igor Jesus actually got on the score sheet. He may have been high on the video, but he was also high back in Swansea, getting a couple of goals last night. Okay. Now we're just swiveling my way into the team at the moment. But while I'm at it, Marcello, what are you, let's just say, looking forward to the most of this weekend? It can be a fixture, it can be a player, or it can be a certain stat, because I know you're big on the stats.
This week, what am I looking forward to?
Most. Could be
I'm looking forward to the mighty Crystal Palace extending their unbeaten run. So what is it, 16 now? Through to the League Cup next round, beat Millwall in penalties, gave them a sliver of hope, and then took it away. It's nice to see.
One goal conceded.
Yeah, so I just think we're so good, aren't we? Even with some injuries, Sarr injured, you've got Pino coming in. He excites me. Uche, I think, has been really nice. He's a forward, but he plays more attacking mid, kind of like Eze. So keep an eye out on Uche if he breaks through. But yeah, and then obviously there's the first game of the weekend, Liverpool-Everton. That's a huge match. And Arsenal v Man City as well. That could be a very deciding game. I think Arsenal are going to come out on top, surely.
Well, I tell you what, Marcello, we bloody hope so, because these are the sorts of games we need to win, and with a home crowd behind us. So thank you for that. I'm very intrigued on it all. Right. Tell you what, there's a bit of intrigue. This team, and we're currently on 2 free transfers with 3.4 million in the bank. And I think we're just going to roll again, because I don't know, Aiden got to come out, but he could also be the downgrade in terms of getting Haaland in from Watkins come next week. But I think the back three is fine. I think midfield 4 is okay in itself. And Rodon first on the bench, I mean, he can actually return. So I'm not necessarily phased in having someone else more than him from the bench. And I think the rest is fine. Salah captain for now. Concerns, as always, flags like a life-saving beak, but I reckon you're just going to roll into it as this. What do you reckon?
Yeah, you got one bench cover. That's good. Salah captain. I agree. Reidy's got Burnley next week, so you don't want to get rid of him. Semenya Rogers pretty strong. Yeah, it's pretty strong, isn't it? This is not making me feel confident about going back to the top of the table this week.
Really
you can't really fault it, can you?
Well, yeah, until it scores 35 points like it did 2 weeks ago. Yeah, big time.
I mean, maybe Reindeer's benched and then Aït-Nouri sell, and then you can play another defender because defenders are so amazing this season. But who do you go for? If we look at the fixture ticker, you've got Wolves, Leeds, Spurs defender who you've already got. Do you want to double up there? Not really. No. Bournemouth defender you've already got. Villa defender who, well, maybe you could go for a Villa defender.
Is it worth it this week, though? I think that's an intriguing
against Sunderland. Yeah, maybe. Could be. Forests, you've already got Sells. Man City is who Aït-Nouri plays for. So, Yeah. How long is Aiton Nori out for?
Another 5 weeks. I think he goes next week.
5 weeks. I would just do it now then. But you don't know what you want to do with Haaland. I would say jump on an Arsenal defender now, get the price rises from 7. But it's a bit risky. They could get injured. You might waste another transfer. They don't have good fixtures yet.
Might get more bench points too. It's a good point to you, Rose. It's something to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just I would roll as well.
Yeah. No, that's it. Right. That's everyone's teams done. We pretty much skimmed it right through. But I tell you what else we could well skim through. That's Captain's Corner. And as per usual, huge this game week. Mohamed Salah, we're going to start with the Egyptian, who's kind of been skidding on ice past the 90th minute this season. But he's at home against Everton, who's got a promising record in itself. 13 appearances, 8 goals and 2 assists. Liverpool created 27 chances last week in away at Burnley. But hey, guess what happened? He only scored 1 goal. That was last game. And he only created 1 chance for any other teammate. Anonymous until the time came crunching. But most may go there just either because the manager's stubborn and they want to play it safe. Because the other contraster, Salah and Haaland, goes away to Arsenal where they lost 5-1 there last season. But got to mention something. Salah and Haaland. He's got 19 shots and 18 shots in the box. And that is not just a league leading total, but that is almost 4 times more than Mo Salah already this season. Which is incredible, isn't it? And yet people still want to captain Salah. I know, it's mental. João Pedro, we talked about Chelsea assets away at Old Trafford. Now, he visits a Manchester United side, having conceded 5 goals in their last 2 league outings. João Pedro's amassed already 33 points, I think, in his last 3 matches, just firing all cylinders as a new steam in blue, once born in Brazil and at Brighton. Full of B's indeed. And Antoine Semenyo, to round things off, just a cherry on top. Now, he's the only player to have had not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 price rises ever since the start of the season, where he did actually score a brace at Anfield in their 4-2 loss on the opening night. 5 goals and 2 assists in Bournemouth's last 5 home fixtures in games the Cherries have scored in. His 11 shots in the box and 6 big chances rank top amongst all midfielders. So if you want to go curveball, he could be the guy because he got 13 points last week. Will we see a repeat of similar heroics come Sunday? Now that is it for pretty much all of the segments. And to just confirm in the checkout, Marcello, who's your final captain's pick?
Well, one thing I want to hear more from you on your captain's corners is a defender option. Where are all the defenders at?
I'll go do some homework, don't I? No, it's a good call. All right. Have you got some stats?
Yes. So I've got my predicted points for the week, and in number 5 is a defender. Can you guess who it is?
Lacroix, because you've got him on vice captain.
Yes.
It's actually.
Yes.
That's funny. I just guessed that. That's brilliant.
How many points do you think Lacroix will get this weekend, realistically?
Away at West Ham, yeah?
Yeah.
8.
Why don't you captain him if you had him?
If I had him, yeah, that's a good point. I got Munoz instead.
Munoz a good shout as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's a proper baller to start the season. 5.5. He feels like he's only playing as a 5-0 defender or whatnot. He's arousing. That's what he's doing for managers. So, okay. But while you're at it, give us the other 4. Why don't you?
Yeah. So top, I've got Salah. Last season his points total, I think he averaged like 9.3 points a game last season, which is insane. And Everton's an easy fixture. Slight dip in performance this season so far. In second, we've got Isak if he plays. However, although he's not on penalties anymore, so we assume that will be Salah still. So he's not as strong as he was last year. Then we've got Chris Wood against Burnley away. As long as Jesus doesn't take his minutes after his amazing cup performance. But I think Chris Wood surely does something this week. And then we've got Bumo as well, but again, Bumo not on penalties. And then it's two defenders actually, Lacroix against West Ham, and then Virgil, who, as we saw last night, loves to be the hero for Liverpool. Get his heads on the corner. Can Everton fail to score this week? I think they do score against Liverpool this week though, so Lacroix for me. And then comes Watkins against Sunderland.
He's even on there. Yeah, right. Wowzers. Okay, Ben. Well, plenty to discuss, plenty to take into account. That wraps it all up. Nice, short and sharp. When there's two people, that does help. I want to give a big kudos to someone, however, because she is the only person to have commented tonight, and we really appreciate her. That is... I'm not sure if we got this up our sleeve, but thank you so much. Yeah, get one of those.
Winner.
Marcello might sell one on eBay, so you get a good rate for that. That's what I reckon. So
thank you, Miriam, keeping us company.
No, thank you. Really appreciate it. So there's your own glorified shout out. Righto, that does it. Best of luck, and more importantly, thanks so much for coming on. I know it was a bit maneuvering last minute, but I really appreciate it from you.
Thank you for having me. Good job as always, and yeah, good luck as well. It should be a tasty week.
Tasty, and I'll tell you what wouldn't be tasty. That is Jack coming back to Australia, which he has done, but more importantly, eating more shit. Have a great weekend.